So friends, we are live on YouTube now. So we are now initiating the process of going live on WAF TV as well. So just a couple of moments and we shall be live on YouTube too, on WAF TV. We're already live on YouTube, as you can see on your screens. Great. So friends, we are live on YouTube and we are live on WAF TV. So that means we can officially begin this conversation. So good evening, friends, and a big welcome to each one of you on this very important discussion that we are hosting on WAF Gurus Live episode 6. And this is a topic which is touching lives of people all across the board, right from a security guard to a possibly tycoon, millionaire, billionaire, CXOs, MDs, chairpersons. It is affecting mental health. You know what we're going through right now, the lockdown, the corona, it is affecting mental health. As we were discussing, if mental health is a serious topic, so probably it can be minding the mind. You know, we all have to mind our mind, because mind can be a very obedient servant and a very dangerous master. So managing our emotions, managing our mind, and it's not just us, it's also our families, our relatives, friends, colleagues, teams, everybody we have to keep in mind. It's not just only us. So I'll just quickly share the screen what we had decided to discuss. uh, I'll just open up yeah on so right here. So this is what we plan to discuss. And of course, we have a great panel over here. The topic is mental health special, minding our mind during COVID era. So we have Dr. Priyanka Yadav, who's a leading psychiatrist and AIIMS alumnus. We have Mr. Rajiv Kapoor. He's the ED, CEO, and Group HR Head of Uno Minda, NK Minda Group. We have Anveeksha Tripathi Jain. She's a chief psychologist and founder at the Coffee Conversations. Then we have Mr. Subhajit Roy. He's the head customer care at Tata Motors. We have Mr. Bhupinder Singh, CEO, Sunbeam Auto, and of course, there's me. So I think Subhajit has just joined. Let us get him back in the conversation, and then we can just discuss back the topics. All right. I think he's coming in. So let's welcome Subhajit Roy. He's the customer care head of Tata Motors. So, okay. So Subhajit, don't worry, your audio is connecting. Right, so Subhajit has been trying for a long time. I think he was facing some technical issue at his end. So hopefully we should be connecting very soon. So that is the reason why, we try to call everybody at least 10 to 15 minutes before the conversation begins, because just like mind, even tech can be a very dangerous master. We should not even allow tech to, get the better of us. So his audio is still connecting. Meanwhile, I'll just go back to sharing the screen that we were, watching. So here it is. So this is the reality, friends. Unable to move out, unable to meet people, social distancing, wearing masks, new high is the new hygiene, locked up at home, low or no income, which is a big stress issue and a factor, job and work insecurity, children unable to attend school, they're doing online classes, they can't even go out and play, family and work relationships are at a test, feeling generally low. When you feel generally low, it just opens up another can of worms. So a few basic cues for our discussion today, what we thought can be how to remain focused and happy and positive. Most motivation and pep talk, just like bathing or washing, doesn't last more than a day or a few hours. So how to manage our emotions, how to feel and think positive and upbeat on a regular basis, being mindful of our mind. How to stop getting tense. You watch news for 15 minutes, you get tense. What to do? How to connect with family, friends, colleagues, business associates in the right way. How to prepare and overcome during these challenging times. how to do behavioral and emotional tweaks and adjustments if required, how to help others. A lot is being said, how much is done is the question. So we are looking at equipping ourselves and our industry people in the best way by nurturing the best mental health in a sustained way. So this is what we are thinking can be the tenets of our conversation today. So getting back to our powerful and effective speakers. So Subhajit, can you hear us now? Subhajit? All right. So while he comes in again, so we would like to begin with Dr. Priyanka Yadav, who's a practicing psychiatrist. She has experience in several years. She's an AIIMS alumnus. So Dr. Priyanka, you must be a very busy person right now doing all your online sessions. I would not say patients, but people who are approaching you. Yeah. So first of all, I'm sure there is no one size fits all kind of a strategy. Yeah. Everyone needs a customized treatment, development, counseling. But if there can be some basic, do's and don'ts, sutras, which we can, use so that the people are minding their mind. So all yours, Dr. Priyanka.
Right. So I would begin by telling all of you that I can really feel you. And something like this has never happened before. It's unprecedented. So you need to know it's affecting all of us, including me. It's affecting all of us on a regular daily basis. Problems may be different, but we are all in this together. So please always remember that we are all as a community in this together. Having said that, first of all, you need to understand that whatever problems you had before the COVID times, are merely going to be 100 times and exaggerated in this COVID time. So what you are facing right now was always a problem. It's just that now it's in the face, right in the face. So the clients that I am having, like if you think the relationship is not working, if you think the kid is not listening to you, if you think it's very difficult to stay at home, if you think the income is an issue, then the problems were there already, though we could distract ourselves at that time. We could go to the malls, we could meet our friends, we could do so many things to just silence the need to work here. And now this is a time that has brought it to the forefront that you can't run away. You have to now face your problems. So you have to understand that this is a time that will show you all that you need to work on. So with this attitude, if you see this time, it's going to be a little better, though it's difficult for everybody. So there is no, again, as Anuj said, no one size fits all. But first of all, to address a problem, you need to know what the problem is. So I'll tell you a few things that if you are facing, means there is a problem, you need to address it. Common things that you may be facing are anxiety, like thinking a lot. And sometimes it may be that you're feeling it in the body, palpitations, perspirations, heart is going on and on. Okay, people may have fainting spells. So if you are experiencing this, it can be a problem. People are feeling lack of sleep. Sleep cycles have reversed. We are binge watching Netflix at night and we are getting up late. And a lot of fear around contamination. So we are like washing a lot, the fear that the kid can't go out, obsession of cleaning again and again, a general mistrust of people. We were never that not trusting of people. So general kind of, if we see somebody coming to our side, we just take another road. So these are a few things that you may be facing. But if it's affecting you, if it's affecting you to the level that you can't function, then you need to be aware and you need to accept that it's a problem and you need to work on it, right? So I will be giving you a few tips how you can go about it. The first thing that's the most required and the basic is that please have a routine. So from morning to evening, you need to have a routine, a fixed thing. So what I can see that what people are doing is in their shorts, they're having the whole day. So the office is also in the shorts and the house is also in the shorts. Pocha is also in the shorts. So try to, I know you're all confined in the house, we all are, but try to demarcate some areas. Try to demarcate the timing. So have a routine, have a schedule, especially good for your children. If you have children, parents are telling me that the kids are not following up with their online classes and everything. So having a routine, like at this time we do this, and after this, this is expected, and after this is expected, is going to make things easier for all of you. So I think having a routine and a schedule is something that I'll advise to all of you, right? Secondly, if you want to check news, please do it from authentic sources and not from WhatsApp University. So please don't sign up for
Well
WhatsApp
said.
University. I want that all of you, I can give you a few websites, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare or AIIMS has its official website. You can check just like 5 or 10 minutes in a day. Spend it if you want to check the news, check from there, and then you are signed off from news. So please limit the intake of news that you are having, because whatever you are consuming, whatever food you eat affects you. So whatever food you give here is going to affect you, right? So please see what you are consuming. On that note, a lot of wonderful things are happening around the world, like these live sessions that you guys are carrying on. And everybody, I'm sure, in their capacity is doing. I am doing live sessions a lot at this time. I am doing my online programs at this time. So decide what you want to consume at this time, right? Do you want to consume news from the WhatsApp University and feel this anger and anxiousness, or do you want to grow? So this is a wonderful time that you can sign up for something to grow and learn, right? Depending upon the field that you are in. So routine, what you consume, very important. And thirdly, this is a time to connect. So though we have all been distanced, I think connection is something that can heal you. So please talk regularly to your family members. I have told a few of my clients to adopt elderlies around them if they are there, because they may be living alone. Adopt them, adopt your maids if possible. See if you can help them financially. So though we are socially distanced, though social distancing, I think is the wrong term. We are physically distanced, not socially distanced.
Well said. Well said.
So please stay connected. This is a time, it's all coming in the face. We all need to be connected, right? So talk to your family members, spend some family time. Finally, take care of your physical health. That will go a long way. So if possible, exercise, do yoga, though that's not the treatment. These are just the things that can keep you in a routine, that can keep you healthy if it's not affecting you too much. But if it's affecting you to a level that I described before, if you're having sleep disturbances, if you're having anxiety to the extent that it's affecting your physical body, you can feel it, then don't shy in seeking help. It's like you have a fever, you go to the physician. If you have fever of the mind, so if you are having all these symptoms that I am saying, it's like a fever of the mind, it's like an illness of the mind, nothing big. Please seek help from wherever you want, but please seek help. Don't normalize it, ki it's because it's COVID time, it's because my husband drinks a lot, it's because the kids are not doing. No, it's not because of that. It's because you are not feeling good. So if you are not feeling good, and if you are not able to handle the things in the way you can, then please seek help. So don't shy from it.
Well
So
said,
these
Dr. Priyanka.
are these are a few things that I would suggest from
Your
my side.
last line of that whining habit reminded me of a age-old joke. A patient goes to a doctor and he
Yeah.
says, "Doctor Saab, wherever I touch in my body, it pains. It pains here, it pains here, it
Yeah,
pains here, it pains here. My entire body pains." The doctor says the pain is just in your finger, not in your
yeah,
entire body. So
that's true.
somewhere we have to fix and mind our mind.
Yeah,
And I think Dr. Priyanka's point that we should have a routine. So yeah, people can say, yeah, my routine is to be in my pajamas all day long. That's
yeah.
the routine.
That is the case for a lot of people right now.
So yes, we are falling into a routine, and I personally really liked the way she has given that tweak to social distancing, that it should not be defined as social distancing but as physical distancing. Socially, emotionally, we have to be closer than ever before. And yes, a lot of talk happens, hey, support your vendor, support your staff, support this, support that, but at the end of the day, there is one gallery which says, hey, you have to be practical also. Nobody has bottomless pockets. Everything is limited. Resources are limited. So unless the government decides to put money in everyone's account using the Jan Dhan Yojana, then it's a different thing. But it is causing immense financial stress, which is leading to the mental health issue primarily. If you
Yeah,
see. So getting now Mr. Rajiv Kapoor in the conversation, he's the ED, the CEO, the group HR head of Uno Minda, NK Minda Group. So sir, you are one of the members of the WAF Hall of Fame as well, of the finest CHRO club at World Auto Forum. You are leading a huge enterprise. So how are you dealing on a personal level, professional level? How are your teams dealing with it? And what is it if some instances and initiatives, if you can share, if you have done, on mental health and emotional wellness?
Okay, hi everyone. And first, thank you, Anuj, for this opportunity. I think it's an absolutely relevant topic you have picked up. And let me first clarify, WAF is not WhatsApp forum. It is the World Auto Forum. So from WhatsApp University. So I just wanted to clarify that. So of course, the times are absolutely uncertain and everybody is grappling with that. I had some observations which I would like to share with you. Now, the lockdown is there. And if we notice, we have got 3 to 4 generations now staying together and facing the same lockdown. So there's a grandfather and a grandson, or a great-grandfather and a grandson, or a granddaughter. They're all staying together in the same premises and facing the lockdown. So I have been observing very different reactions coming from these generations to the lockdown. So if you relate back, I think it is how you accept it, how you have lived your life. I think that experience is coming out very clearly now, and every generation is perceiving the lockdown and accepting and living the lockdown very, very differently. So I think everything is coming together. All generations are coming together. Mostly, it's been a very positive and a sane experience till now. So I think if you look at the elderly generation, I see youngsters teaching them how to go to Netflix, how to switch on Amazon Prime and go to all those channels. And on the other side, I think the elderlies are teaching the youngsters how to play board games, how to play cards, how to sit and actually talk and listen. I think these are very important. So it's a screen-free life coming to youngsters and some screen life going towards elderly. So it's a shift happening. So I think that's very, very interesting to note. And I was listening to this on the YouTube itself. You would have heard it many times on Radio Mirchi. This RJ Naved that comes up with the Murga, Mirchi Murga. So I was listening to, because you need to divert your mind, so you listen to these things. I was listening to one yesterday itself, and this guy is pulling a fast one on somebody, and so when the other person realized that, okay, fine, this is what is happening, there was a huge burst of laughter at the other side. The guy went on laughing and laughing, and suddenly that laughter turned into crying. He was laughing out loud and suddenly started crying. So this RJ asked him, what's happened? You were laughing. He said that I'm alone, I'm lonely, and I'm away from my family, and I'm stuck. I can't move out of the house. So then that thing dawns upon you. We are lucky that we're staying in our own houses with a family, but there are people who are staying alone right now. And the guy then narrated his thing that I was on a tour. I came to Rajasthan. Now I'm not allowed to go home. I'm stuck here. And it's been 40 days. I haven't met my family. So I think, and he thanked the RJ that, okay, fine. You called me. I have somebody to talk to. I think that is what we are all facing right now. So loneliness, I think that is a big factor, an issue which we are all facing. There was a video which was getting viral. There was a colonel in Punjab, and the Punjab police took a cake to his house. And the colonel, when the bell rang and he came out and he saw the police people with a birthday cake, he just burst out crying because he was alone. His kids are not there. He was absolutely alone in the house. So I think this loneliness factor is becoming a very, very heavy thing on our mind. And I think that is what we need to be very, very much wary of. And so we are, let's say, in an organization, and we are mindful of the fact that we got thousands of people we have to take care of. So how do we utilize the time on a day-to-day basis? Priyanka mentioned about creating a routine. So we have created a routine. So we are actually working from home like we work in office. So the meetings are the same, the calendars are the same. So only thing is that you could be in your pajamas and shorts while you're on the internet. Otherwise, I think the discussions are better now, and we have actually realized that the output has improved because there are no distractions and there are sane reactions in the meetings because there are no body language issues and all. Everybody is listening well. So our productivity has really gone up and people are happy about it because I think the amount of work we have got done in the last 45 days is amazing. So that's how we have created a routine around this entire lockdown thing, and people are responding very, very positively about it. So obviously there are pressures because of the market conditions. The job security is a big question mark right now, and pay cuts are looming everywhere. So how do you keep your brood together? How do you make them see the reason? Like Anuj also mentioned, because organizations don't have a bottomless pocket, there will be a crunch sometime if the market continues like this. So how are you preparing your workforce? How are you preparing your staff people to understand what is in store? So I think that is where Navi in HR come in, and how we communicate, how we do the messaging. I think that's very important. So from our side, we've been having video messages going out from the chairman side. And objective of these messages are that we are all in it together. And it is a reality. We must face it, but we will face it together. So we are all a family. So I think those messages have been received very, very positively. And we've got plenty of messages coming back, that excellent message, and that turned around what I was thinking negative, and now I'm okay. So I think those are very positive things. Town halls we've been having almost on every 10th day, we have a town hall where again, we all connect with the people, chairman connects with the people, and we allow people to ask questions. So we listen, we ask. If paucity of time is there, we respond through emails. So everybody gets an answer. So we've been doing policy tweakings to suit the times. And again, since policies are not just sent through emails, we have been sending FAQs to people so that they get all the answers. I think from an HR perspective, we have been very, I would say, connected with the people, and people have really responded very positively. And we've till in the last 40 days, we were measuring, we've had about 20,000 meetings on Microsoft Teams. And at any given point of time, 3,000 people in our organization are connected over Microsoft Teams. That's the kind of connect we are having. That's the kind of work which is happening. So the only thing we are missing is we are not producing on the shop floor. But rest, everything is happening. Finance, HR, you name it, and we are doing it. So I think that utilization of time we are doing is keeping the positivity in the minds of the people. So we have also introduced some lockdown games. So because I know people are at home, so we suddenly send out a message, okay, fine, 11 o'clock, we'll have this lockdown game and get your family together. So these are family games. So we involve the entire family into the game. And these are very short 1 hour kind of interactions, but we spread some positivity and people are very happy. Then they look forward to the next game. When is the next game happening? So that is how, and there have been online yoga classes. So people like actually who have been staying in the plants to secure the plant. So they're away from the family. So we kept them engaged through online yoga sessions and all. So I think that is very, very useful, I think we have done. The purpose has been to stay connected and stay completely aligned with them. Another thing what we noticed initially was that we must maintain that sense of purpose while we are in a crisis scenario. But I think people like to stay connected to a purpose. So that purpose is very much alive. The visions we had, the group goals we had. So we are discussing them so that nobody should have a feeling that, okay, fine, now we are going to lay down those goals. No, we are not. We are on the track. Fine, this is a glitch in the system. We'll come back. We'll run faster, but we will achieve our goals. So I think that exudes a lot of confidence in people, that there is purpose, there is a vision, and we will definitely strive to achieve that. So I think that zeal and energy is driving our people very, very well. So these are the things. And also, I used to work with the Dr. Sameer Parekh. Some of you must be knowing him. He is the authority in mental wellness, well-being. So I was in Fortis. I was the CHRO of Fortis Group for 4 years. So I had the opportunity of working with him also. And I've conducted some sessions along with him. So I had my notes. So I'm utilizing those gems I picked up from him and spreading it across the organization. So those are coming in pretty handy. So cost cuttings are happening all around. So I think the message which I want to leave with the people who are, because we all are doing it, we all have to do it because we have to survive as organizations. So obviously have a lot of empathy and compassion in the system. We are taking decisions, but if you take decisions with empathy and compassion, I think you are more balanced in taking your decisions. Be mindful about the people you're taking a decision for. One of the biggest things is that be available. That is what my HR team is ascertaining and assuring people that we are there. Reach out if you have any issue. Don't feel lockdown chal raha hai, we can't pick up the phone and talk. We are all available. So being there, I think that gives a whole lot of confidence to the people that there is somebody there we can go and talk to. So we are available 24/7. And there have been instances we have gone out of the way to help people, but we have delivered. So that generates a lot of confidence in our employee strength. Obviously, we are using technology to the best advantage. In one of the other forums, there were many service sector organizations, and I was the manufacturing sector, and manufacturing is not known to be very tech savvy. But we were so pleasantly surprised that when the lockdown happened, we haven't missed a beat as an organization. So that is where technology has come to our help. And we didn't realize that we had actually digitized the entire workflow. So we actually don't have to go to office now. Entire database is available. We work very comfortably. We are able to take all calls on data sitting at home. So that's a very pleasant surprise we got, because had we not been thrown into this scenario, we would have been thinking, no, हम manufacturing वाले हैं, हम तो work from home नहीं कर सकते हैं. So हम तो office में ही जाके बैठ के काम करेंगे. But that realization has dawned, and this will again bring up a lot of new thought processes in how we approach our work.
Surely, Mr. Kapoor. So Mr. Kapoor, the points that you mentioned are extremely heartening.
Yeah.
What you mentioned, that 3,000 team members connecting on Microsoft Teams and being there for your employees as a big family, having those games at 11 in the morning, for an hour, and the entire family gets together. So when the family gets together of the NK Minda group, Uno Minda group, then we're talking about on a very different orbit altogether. The kind of employee loyalty, commitment, it goes to the next level. And yes, I'm sure it all flows from innovation from you, from your teams, and of course from the humility which flows from your CMD, Mr. NK Minda. Even I personally, when I've connected with him as an industry, a person, he's so humble and down to earth, responding to every WhatsApp message. So the humility flows from the top. Having said that, no matter how much work from home we are able to do, at the end of the day, if we are a manufacturing setup and the shop floor, the assembly line is closed, so the money would not be flowing. The goods are not going, to the client. The money is not coming in the coffers. So of course it gets challenging.
It is challenging, Anuj. Definitely, it is challenging, and it's not. Let's say we are one cog in the wheel, and the entire organizations which are into automotive sector, including the OEMs, I think nobody has yet started except one or two big ones.
Yes. So
OEM waiting. I think the wheel has to start moving again. So once that happens. So what I was trying to say is that we are trying to be ready for that. It is not that we would again start catching up. I think we are making sure that when the wheel starts rolling, we are absolutely ready for the new way of living, new way of living, new way of working.
Yes, and the reports are coming in. A lot of factories have started with 23% physical distancing, if I can use that term. But I don't know whether it's the beginning of another backlash, or with these relaxations, it will come back, hit harder. So with these thoughts, moving now to Anveeksha, Miss Anveeksha Jain. She is the chief psychologist and the co-founder, of her enterprise, the Coffee Conversations. And she's a very famous psychologist in Delhi. So Anveeksha, what are your thoughts? You can listen to our conversations. How are you guiding, mentoring, coaching people? All yours, Ms. Jain.
Thank you, Anuj. And it's been such heartening conversations that I've been hearing from Dr. Priyanka and Mr. Kapoor. I just have a few things to add here. When we talk of mental wellness, let's not look at it as as a standalone thing. So mental wellness in itself cannot be a standalone thing wherein, just mental wellness in itself, ki ji aapne keval mental wellness ki baat kari, it has to be holistic because everything is interconnected. So if you're not physically well, you cannot be mentally well. And if you're not mentally well, you cannot be physically, that active, etc. So it has to be, what we have to do is talk about emotional wellness at a broad spectrum. So, that is one point that I keep telling people that, you have to, like Dr. Priyanka rightly said, you have to maintain your routines, because what happens is that, you're sleeping it at 3, you're getting up at 11, you're clocking the hours, but you're not getting a restful cognition, for your body. So those are things which are important. So let's just, understand all of that. And you had a point that how to keep the upbeatness and how to keep, being positive. Now, there are a few things to that. What I've realized is, like Mr. Kapoor rightly pointed out, we don't know what to do with our spaces. Now, suddenly, everybody is home. So it is that same space in which the husband is also here, the wife is also here, the children are also here. And over the years, we have forgotten how to be with each other. So, it's a time of, while we are rediscovering what we do, I always say that do not forget yourself in that. So you cannot be an empty vessel and keep giving to others. So understand that, for you to be able to take care of others, for you to be able to spread that happiness, you have to first take care of your own self as well. So that's an important factor. So if you have to do that, number one, you have to be physically active. Like I said, create, please do not just clock in the hours, have the correct pattern of sleeping, eat well is another, that I think, do not go for long hours without, having a, meal or snack. Keep a dark chocolate handy. That's my tip to almost everybody. So, those are certain things. And more than that, have faith. It's a very big thing which goes a long way. Have faith, understand the things which are and which are not in your control. So like this COVID, the situation that it is in, ultimately, it is not in our hands. This was not something that we willed upon ourselves. So, constantly worrying about it, what will happen? Oh my God, so many, this thing happened, that thing happened. Jo aapke liye kharab hoga, wahi mere liye bhi kharab hoga. Maybe at different levels, but it is going to go better or worse for all of us. So we have to understand those things as well. Apart from that, what we also have to keep in mind is, a lot of us are, kind of rejecting the fact, or we're not accepting the, ki, acha, theek hai, the moment the lockdown opens up, it's going to be like this big party that's going to come back. Let's accept the fact it's not going to happen. So, you have to kind of adjust yourself, accept the fact that this may be the way in the future, and start working towards it. So don't be in a state of denial wherein you're saying that, oh, the moment this lockdown happens, I'm going to go out and have a blast. This may actually not be possible. So those are certain pointers of acceptance that you need to have, because this may actually be the way forward. So if you're already prepared, like Mr. Kapoor said, that you're preparing the manufacturing units for that. So if at individual levels, at emotional levels also, if you have accepted those facts, and if you're trying to move towards it, you will make the transition much smoother on your own self. So those are certain things that people can do. And one thing I always keep on saying, so anxiety doesn't, like Dr. Priyanka happens, there are of course the physical manifestations for it, but there are other factors also that you may be willing to look at. If you're feeling unsettled, there's a feeling of restlessness all the time, there's a feeling of disconnect, there's a feeling of not being upbeat for a continued period of time. Those are things that need to be addressed. Don't feel shy to come up with it. There are so many psychiatrists, psychologists, etc., who are doing their services pro bono right now. So even if you're not willing to kind of go to a psychiatrist, or you can just flag any of them, you can just call up people, and they would be, I'm sure they'd be willing to help. So these are all things that you need to do. I always tell my people, and keep a book handy. If you're feeling that feeling of anxiety that's happening, keep an upbeat book handy with yourself. So the moment you find your mind wandering off to a point wherein it's feeling anxious, ki ab kya hoga, just pick up an upbeat book, something as silly as a Calvin and Hobbes, or something as happy as that. So those are things that you can actually do in practical life day to day to keep that positivity happening, and you don't have to always listen to a motivational webinar and just last it for like 2 hours and then you're back to the thing.
True. Well said.
Yeah.
So, Ms. Jain, here I'd like to ask you a question. I'm sure you would have seen that movie Hello Zindagi, Shah Rukh Khan.
Yes.
I have heard. Aapki
Yes.
field ki hai. So in that movie, when they're sitting in Goa, Shah Rukh is sitting on a similar panel discussion of the experts, and he says one thing that if somebody has a headache or baah mein dard hai, peeth mein dard hai, people are very vocal and open about it. They say medicine de do. But when there's a mental health issue, people are not comfortable sharing with their own loved ones or their friends. And even if they share, or even if the loved ones get to know some symptom, they try to hush it. Hush.
Yes.
Because they feel, क्या बात कर रहे हो? ये पागल थोड़ा है? क्या पागलों के डॉक्टर के पास लेके जाओगे? Nothing against any profession, but that's how people feel.
Yes,
So,
that's
and
correct.
that's totally wrong. So what do you have to say on this kind of way of thinking?
So, Anuj, you very rightly pointed it out. There is still a huge stigma attached to mental well-being and emotional wellness and mental health issues, not just in India, I would say across the world, but more so in India because of, those exactly the same point. ये हम पागल थोड़ी हैं, ये हमारा बच्चा पागल थोड़ी है. What we need to understand that a mental ailment is just, any other ailment in the body. So just like if you have, let's say, a fever or if you have flu, you go to a doctor and you come back after you've taken a medicine. It's exactly the same for mental wellness. You are feeling unsettled, you have an issue, you go to a doctor, you go to a therapist, you get your therapy and you come back. Now, what I also feel is that, the other side of it, as therapists, I always tell my, clients that I am not going to be here with you forever on your life. I will help you discover the skill sets. I will help you discover the tools that you can use for your own self. For example, you have you have a weak stomach. So you go to the doctor for the first time, the doctor tells you the ailment, he gives you the medicines, but he also suggests lifestyle changes, right? For you to be able to manage your symptoms yourself. So as therapists, we should also be, try to do that, wherein we, get the clients to be able to develop the kind of skill sets that they can have and manage their own selves at certain times. Of course, the therapists are there if there is anything of severity, but that is what should be done from our side. And also, again, the conversation and education around emotional wellness and mental health has to happen. So only with education, only with awareness, only with destigmatizing it for general public is when all of this can, be a little better. And with that concept, if I can just share that, we have this, we've started this organization by the name of Coffee Conversations, wherein you do not have to come to us as, you're going to a therapist's office, lying down on a couch and sitting with a paper and pen, a psychiatrist, and saying, okay, what brings you here today? And you're suddenly in a trance. No, nothing of that sort happens. You come to us wherein, you're just meeting us over a cup of coffee as friends. We build a rapport with you, and over the 2-3 sessions, etc., with the skill sets, etc., you start opening up with us. And it is as easy. Conversations like this, we're trying to tell you that conversations like this are as easy as any other conversations over a cup of coffee. So you should just come in, have a cup of coffee with us, talk about it. The only thing that can really destigmatize it is conversations, awareness, and education around it.
True. I couldn't agree more on this, Ms. Jain. So just the way you go out, have a coffee with friends and it's a stress buster. Similarly, coming to a professional, whether it's a psychiatrist or a psychologist.
Yes, it should be as easy. It should be as easy. And a lot of people are, a little kind of, wary of the therapies, etc., that, a psychiatrist or a therapist may be using. So in today's day and world, with the advancements and the educations and researches, we have found so many alternative therapies that are equally effective, which do not have to be as heavy duty, but which are very, very enjoyable, like a narrative therapy wherein you write down your narrations, or a drama therapy wherein, you're putting up a play, or music therapy or dance therapy, expressive arts. These are such amazing ways of therapy, and they are so therapeutic. They're such therapeutic interventions, and they're very enjoyable for that matter. So the idea is to destigmatize and enjoy your interventions.
Fantastic. So I think these are dispels a lot of doubts and myths, I'm sure. So Subhajit, can you hear us now? Subhajit, but we can't hear you.
We can't hear him now.
Oh man, technology at times, what to do? Subhajit, we can't hear you. Subhajit, we can't hear you. What do we do? So meanwhile, while Subhajit fixes his audio, so Singh Saab, we come to you. Singh Saab. Well, Singh Saab, friends, has a beautiful presentation for us today. And Singh Saab is the CEO of Sunbeam Auto, one of the leading companies in die casting in the country, and they are supplying to various automakers in India, and I think probably around the world, if I'm not mistaken. So Singh Saab, all yours to you. You can feel free to share your presentation. All yours.
Thank you so much. I think you can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So I've been hearing out all the panelists. I mean, wonderful, I would say, presentations from them. And I think they're summed up very well. And Rajiv ji also summed up the industry very well from HR point of view. I happen to know him. We met once very briefly. I think this COVID-19 has brought in a lot of challenges, and there'll be some sort of change in our lifestyles also. If you look into the meaning of COVID, actually, I'm very confused now. Some people term COVID as a natural catastrophic act. Some lawyers call it as a force majeure event. The financial markets call it as a, I would say, meltdown of the financial markets. And the companies, of course, are struggling with the demand and supply cycle. So there is a lot of stress, I would say, into the system, because we are into a game where we rotate the money very fast, and this is how the economy works. So I think Rajiv touched upon that particular thing. He just termed it as a wheel, and I think the wheel will roll certainly, and we will definitely come back to where we were. But I think we really need to mind our minds. The topic is great. Congratulations, Anuj, for choosing this one and giving us an opportunity to come on this forum and express ourselves. So I would like to share a brief presentation, which I quickly made it like yesterday, I would say. And I hope you'll find it a little useful. So here I go. Can you see the screen, please? So this is as per the topic, which is mind over matter. So how to deal with the stagnancy and the bouncing back of the economy, because we all know that we're going to come back. This is just a matter of time. It may take few months, it may take few quarters, but yes, we are definitely going to come back. So I'm from automotive. I've given my entire life to automotive, and I had a die casting company, which happens to be the largest in India, I suppose largest in Asia also. We employ about 7,000 plus people, having 4 plants across the country, supply to almost every automobile company. So there are 3 things which I'm going to touch upon. One is the challenges and developing discipline and the way ahead. So the challenges are almost defined, I mean, the same which has been defined by our esteemed speakers. I would say one is the improve overall hygiene, be aware but avoid the paranoia, which is fear of health. And that is actually, I'm also facing the same thing. Every single day I feel, okay, I'm getting bulky because I'm not doing any exercise. So when I just jump over to the weighing machine, oh, now, thank God, I'm fine. So this kind of fear is definitely with everyone. I think we should try to do some physical activities, and that should be fine, I think. And then we have distorted sleep patterns, which have been described by everyone here with our doctor friends, described it very well. We aim to sleep 7-8 hours. But of course, the sleep cycle has changed for everyone, for me too. So learn to cook healthier, avoid stress eating, because stress eating, obviously, it creates a lot of problem for your health. And then lack of concentration. So develop some reading habits, take time to slow down. There is no way you should, just jump into so many things at the same time. Just slow down a little bit. Ration your coffee. And try, I would say increased use of stimulants, which I use the word here, should be avoided. That should be, I think, good for all of us. And then third is, the next is developing discipline, day-to-day checklist for journeying inwards. So do not beat yourself into timelines. I mean, all right, I mean, this is the way the profession works, but do not beat yourself into the timelines. Take it a little easy. Stick to the basic self-care. So you should talk about yourself before talking about others first. I think one of our friends have also touched upon this topic. Self-learn and develop a skill. Feel aimless. Start to develop a skill which you have not developed till now. Use this time to organize yourself. Right now, a lot of people are trying to organize themselves, think about the future strategies, prepare themselves, what's going to happen when they open up, how the things will move, how they are organizing the teams, how they are better utilizing the resources. I think those kind of things are definitely happening. Organizing team meetups and chai talks. I would say coffee talks. That will suit here, I think, better than chai. So, organizing team meetings is become really very easy. So I just second what Rajiv ji said, that bringing people on Zoom or on WebEx or on any other, I would say IT enabled softwares is becoming very easy. You can have 500 people listening to you uninterruptedly, and you can have the cost of the meeting is almost 10 rupees. Look at a situation when you have to gather 500 people to listen to you. I think you end up spending something like lakh of rupee minimum, even within the own organization, arranging coffee, snacks, arranging for the chairs, making sure everything should be well seated, and make sure that everybody should be physically present. So all these things have gone. So the technology has taken over, and I think these meetings are really good. I am enjoying the Zoom meetings actually. I do almost like 6 to 7 meetings a day with my people, like 40 minutes each. And 40 minutes you can do free also actually. So have ideas for after quarantine, pen them down and make process charts. I think a lot of people are doing it. I would say every automotive company is doing it. I'm pretty sure about it. In fact, every automotive company has drawn up their SOPs. How they will open up, how they will let people in, how many people will come to the plant, what is the social distancing, how they will manage the contamination, and in case of any eventuality, how they're going to handle it. So I think these SOPs are well drawn, and the process charts are very well made. I think this is the shift which I am seeing, a disciplined approach which is emerging out of this COVID-19. So the way ahead is identify inconsistency in the current system. So we have a lot of lacunas in the current system, and we keep on doing the same thing again and again. And if we keep on doing the same thing again and again, we keep on getting the same results again and again. So we have to try something different to get something different. And I think people are really working on it. Organize ideas of process efficiency improvements. So bringing some change into the processes, which we have been doing for years together, to make it little lean, little thinner, to understand that it's cost effective and we get something more out of it. I think that this is the time we should prepare for it. Outline sources for cash leaks. Of course, I mean, cash is a big problem for everyone nowadays. Whether we admit it or not, I think manufacturing is definitely struggling through it. We should outline those sources, how plug the cash leakages. And that's very important. When you make a lot of money, nobody bothers about small cash leaks, but we don't have money, everybody even try to save a single penny. I think it's very important. Make day 1 and day 10 and day 30 action plan for emergency preparedness. So I think this is part of life for us. And every single day we see some challenges, and we have to be very quickly focusing on this preparedness. As far as the manufacturing industries are concerned, I would say everyone. Focus on empowering workforce. I think this is again related to Rajivji, which he has very clearly mentioned, that we have to empower people because we have to listen to people. It has to be two-way communication. He's doing with his people, and his chairman is also doing a two-way communication. It's very important that we empower people and we focus on them and make sure we should build a good team to deliver for the future. Plan the future, inculcate culture for remote working. So I have heard that a lot of companies like Infosys, Facebook, and now Google, they're planning to work from home. I think there's 75% of the people is going to work from home till December. So I think we should inculcate this kind of a culture, and we should make it a habit. I personally feel working from home is more efficient than going to office, because here the communication is very clear. And when you know that you are one of the listeners among hundreds of others, you are very carefully listening, because you certainly can't miss it. So when it is one-to-one, you can have an advantage. Sir, मुझे समझ नहीं आया. But when you are one among the hundreds, you can't miss it. And I've personally observed this. Being heading a big company, I understand that people are really focused and they listen to you and they deliver. And when you share a screen like this, I'm sharing in front of you, you can also say, yes, Mr. Singh, you're wrong here. So anybody can pinpoint it. So I would say the fertilization of brain is also happening this way. Very efficient, I would. And that's all from my side. I mean, I've tried to cover up little, which is my experience as far as industry is concerned. But I have few points to add, which is actually, which I feel is, very, very important. One is that I feel that people should keep their calm and cool, at least at the workers level, which is very, very important. It's very important for the industry to manage the workforce, especially when you have unionized workforces. And it's really important that we should bring some harmony to the organization. That's all from my side, Anush.
That's well said, Singh Saab. So especially, when we are very, very manpower intensive, and that's a very, very common, point. It's a very common element in the automotive and the mobility industry, that it's manpower intensive, and we have people, from all across all stratas, all caste, creed, religions, and they're all unionized. So we have to all the more have our communication, sorted. We have to be very careful with every word that we communicate. It should not harm anyone's sentiments. And if we can have self-help groups these days, WhatsApp University, as what Dr. Priyanka had mentioned, one side is we're getting overloaded by stuff on Corona and COVID, but on the other side, you can get to know the psyche of a lot of people in the group. If they are frustrated, if they are happy by their responses, the way kind of emoticons they are using. As they say, your first 7 or 6 emoticons in your memory actually, determine your, state of mind. So if someone is really troubled, we can all reach out to them, in an informal self-help group. So having said that, Subhajit, can you hear us now? Oh my God, we still can't hear Subhajit. You want to, Subhajit, connect?
One-sided communication, I would say.
Subhajit, you want to dial in? If you want to dial in, possibly, there's an option of dialing in also. I wonder why this thing is happening. It's never happened before with anyone. And in fact, I must appreciate Subhajit also is not, relenting. He's trying again and again relentlessly to come in, but I don't know, technology is just failing us right now. There are some numbers, probably you can dial in through those numbers. Let's see. Or you want to use someone else's phone, Subhajit? You have the link and the password with you. Yeah, just try. Meanwhile, we'll just get Dr. Priyanka back in the conversation. So Dr. Priyanka, you just heard everybody's thoughts. Something from a doctor we want after listening to everyone. Please feel free to share.
Yeah, so again, as I said, the biggest problem that people are facing right now is that it's so uncertain, right? That's what they're complaining. It's so uncertain. But the thing is that life was never certain. It was a mirage of certainty that we were living in, that we go to office at 9 and it's 7 that we come back with our family. But it was still uncertain. Whenever I ask anybody, okay, did you ever thought that you would be here 3 years back? And they say, no, my life panned out pretty differently, right? Life was always uncertain. It's just that the present pace of life is so fast that we never sit and think about it. Life was impermanent. Life was uncertain. It's always going to be. So yes, the journey is of acceptance for everybody on an individual scale. We have to take this journey of acceptance. Thankfully, we are all in this together, and we can do it together as a human race. And I am sure that when we come out of it, we'll be a more conscious race. We'll be a more aware race, more in touch with our inner selves and our inner values and needs. So I think just see be it financial issue, be it anything that's troubling you, try to see this whole situation from a different point of view. Just try to ask one simple question: what can I learn from this? What is this teaching me? So if you can't go to find any help, this situation right now is going to teach you a lot if you listen. So just sit still. Anyways, you can't run away right now. You are all confined. We are all confined here. So just sit, and it's all going to be figured out. And just remember, help is always available. When we were talking on that stigma, I wanted to add there that it's who creates the stigma? It's us. It's the people, right? It's the people. We all are in this. So who will break the stigma? We will. So it's when we start talking about these things, when I write on my blogs, when Anveeksha talks about it, when you talk about it, we are getting together and talking about this whole episode is on minding the mind. That's when we break the stigma. So if we make it, only we can break it. So if you are facing something, if something is bothering you, if you think that no, I can't continue like this, then please take help from wherever you want to, but help is available. Please don't feel alone. You are not alone right now, right?
Great.
I just wanted to add one thing here, Anuj,
Sure.
from yours
Sure,
and
Ms. Jain.
Priyanka's conversation, Dr. Priyanka's conversation was, you said that, there may be people at times around you who you feel require help.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of times what happens is we let it go कि हमें क्या करना है यार, उनका अपना खुद का मामला है. No, it does not happen that way. Please reach out to that person. You may be snubbed. I'm not saying that everybody is as accepting, not everybody is as welcoming, but at least give yourself a chance to try. Do not close it on yourself to say ki, it's not my thing. Let me not even unke ghar ka matter hai, ya, it's up to them. If that person comes to me, I will help. Sometimes all it takes is, a single word of hello or a smile from someone to to build that courage.
Yeah.
So if you do know of someone, or if you feel that somebody does need help in and around your circle, my suggestion would be to at least give yourself a chance to try and reach out, because the moment you reach out, it may be the only thing that person is actually requiring.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So we are trying some jugaad technology now. Subhajit is unable to connect, so I'm just trying to connect him through a WhatsApp call. Let's see if this thing can work. Yeah. Subhajit, you'll have to mute Zoom. Just mute Zoom. Subhajit, just mute the Zoom. But if Subhajit, just try talking again. I think there's some mic issue at your end. Nothing more than that. Okay. Yeah. Just close that. Yeah. Just close that.
But as usual, one can hear you. Good evening. I was trying for the last 45 minutes to get in touch with you, because you know how important this is to us. And I gave this idea maybe a week back, and so nice of you that you built the distributor of it and brought me in. So anything you like to ask me so that I take it through and take the things forward?
Yeah, sure. Please go on, Subhajit.
Okay. So please ask the others in the other participants are able to hear me.
So friends, can you hear Subhajit?
It's not clear.
Very well.
It's not clear.
Not very clear.
Not clear.
Yeah, because it's going from one device to the other. No, so this is jugaad technology at its best. Reminds me of the way we used to play music at school. Yeah. But something is better than nothing for sure. Please carry on.
Yeah. So, Anuj, what is very intriguing, we have been talking about people who are a little mellow, who are, at the middle management of the senior management, or into WAF or Microsoft PVBU, but something or the other, they have some other thing to fall back upon. But I am more worried about those people who are in the little lesser strata of the society, like people, the service advisor, from the supervisor level, or the manager level of the dealership, because I have the automobile dealership. So there, we actually don't have the luxury of whether, they are gaining weight or losing weight, or how has been their kind of other mental levels. But they are so worried about leaving. Many of them have got old parents. How to arrange medicine for them, and then many of them might be worried about the fact that in the month of March I got salary, in April I got salary, whether I'll get the salary in May or not. So whether whether there will be a salary cut or a job cut, and how do I make my ends meet? So this is one area which I find quite intriguing, and I told you that I'm feeling worried about this type of people who will get into kind of a depression or kind of a panic or an anxiety. So tomorrow, getting work from them or getting back to them, and when every crisis has every crisis has a kind of expiry date. After that, how will I make them come back to work? So, in Tata Motors, what we are doing is that every 7 days or 10 days, I'm trying to get in touch with these guys, asking about their mental health, asking about their well-being, giving them the confidence. Don't worry, I'm in touch with your dealer principals, I'm in touch with your management, and we are finding ways and means how we are into kind of helping your dealers out, your dealers outstanding in terms of incentives or in terms of warranty claims or AFC claims or EW claims. We are not crediting them in your dealer group, but we are crediting them in their bank accounts, so that they can able to pay their salaries. So that is a quite booster from them that from Tata Motors side, or head of the customer care is really taking care of them in these aspects. Whatever possible we can do it. Another aspect I keep on telling them, when there are two way of handling a crisis. You get into a mood that why it is happening to me. I just bought a car, I just bought a bike, I just took a home, and these things happening. Now, how do I pay my EMI? How do I make my ends meet if my salary are cut? This is one thing of the worry. You can continue to worry about it, but the fact remains the situation will not change. If you curse yourself, if you curse the situation will not change. So what to do to ensure that you live off of this situation? So I give a good example to them. One example which they can relate to it. For example, I say, supposing you are walking on a broad day sunlight, दिन के टाइम में with broad daylight you're walking, and suddenly you have to get into a room which is dark, and the door is closed from the outside. So suddenly you see entire darkness, pitch darkness, and you get almost blinded. It is not natural that you get worried about it, panicked about it. I mean, it's quite natural, quite human. Nothing about it. But after a certain point of time, there are again two things you can do. One, you can blame again the situation. Why I have been kicked into this position? Why I have been sent into this position? And then you curse the situation. You curse yourself. It happens always to me. From my when I was a child, this thing happened. When I grown up, always there's a struggle in my life and all those things. And then when you think like these things, you again get into a mode of more anxiety, more worry, and your rational thinking goes off. Then maybe you in the dark room you tend like sitting somewhere, you get hurt somewhere, and you get more anxious about it and more worried about it, and again you get into depression. The other mode is this, that while the initial panic is over, you think rationally, after a certain point of time, darkness and you come in terms with each other. You try to find through your sixth sense out what is there in the room. And if I could feel on my left hand palm, there's a chair with a handle on it. So is there anything on the chair? If it is not there, let me sit there. We have sit with there, and धीरे-धीरे अंधेरे में गहरापन चला जाता है, और अब क्लियरली तो देख नहीं पाते हो, बट हल्का सा एक एहसास जरूर होती है कि कुछ है सामने. So you feel that there is a table in front of you. Table can be two types. It can be a dining table. It can be a normal study table. If there is your rational thinking comes in, you think about the fact that if it is a study table, then there must be a table lamp, there must be some books on it. So So if there is a table lamp, there will be a switch to it. So you use your senses, use your sixth senses.
So,
Use other.
So getting a grip of the situation, in short.
And
So you get a grip over the situation, and that gives you strength in many ways.
Exactly. So relating to that aspect, can I share that this dark room is like a lockdown? This suddenly happened to you after within a 4 hours of notice. The initial panic is there. Then after that, think about the fact that the entire world is closed down. बाहर कुछ भी नहीं चल रहा है. आपको कोई इंटरप्शन नहीं है. आपको कोई इंटरवेंशन नहीं है. Dealer is not calling you. Customer is not calling you. The Tata guys are not calling you. You are on your own. So can you think of certain things that you are longing to do but not able to do it? Like for example, you might be thinking that now I'm a service advisor or a supervisor. My service manager. But while going to the service manager level, I may need to have certain skills besides technical skills like soft skills, like some knowledge in finance. Because when you become a service manager, you are expected to see the profit and loss statement, you are expected to see the balance sheet. You should be, knowledgeable about where to cut down the expenses, where to increase the revenue. So those skills like finance or non-finance guy. So now initially you never knew when to find time about it. Your day starts at 6 o'clock, your day ends at the 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you're dog tired, you go to sleep, again you go to work. So never did you find out on a time for your capability building. So imagine 100 years from now, you will never get such an opportunity where the entire world is shut down. You have no interruption, nobody to disturb you. So this opportunity can be used for your capability building, to strengthen your CV. So when the lockdown is over, that is 19 days, 21 days plus 19 days plus 17 days, you come out in a mode of Subhajit Roy 2.0, Anuj Guglani 2.0. So you are in a better position, more professional, more skilled, more aware. So in a way, it is giving you an opportunity, and which will never come back in another maybe 50, 60 or 100 years time, where you will get an opportunity for so much of time to do things that you crave to do, didn't find time to do.
Fair enough.
And enhance your skill.
Fair enough. So that's a very valid point, Subhajit, that this is a time to equip yourself and, reskill, upskill, learn, relearn, unlearn, surely. But, having said that, there are a lot of people who are tensed because of job insecurity. In fact, more than 90% businesses in India are MSMEs. So they are facing survival issues. So on one aspect, Subhajit is absolutely right that we have to reskill, upskill ourselves. But on the other side, most of these MSMEs, what they're saying, that whatever you have learned till now, just apply it to stay afloat and to survive. So that also is very important. In fact, why go anywhere else? If I talk about the cash flows of World Order Forum, we are badly hit right now. There are partners who are paying, there are partners who are not paying. So its future is extremely uncertain. And but the expenses are for sure certain. So even if you ask me as a CEO of World Order Forum, even I'm unclear, even I'm a bit tense. In fact, I am tense. So everybody is affected at some level or the other. So we have to be together and we have to find a solution. And yes, those few do's and don'ts which the lovely ladies have shared here with us, I personally feel they are fantastic, and I would like to really use them, on a daily basis, every minute, every moment. So, Kapoor Saab, some points from your side. In fact, we have overshot by 8 minutes. यूं कि रामगढ़ कब आ गया पता ही नहीं चला. Remind me of this famous dialogue of Sholay. So, Kapoor Saab, some views from your side on, especially after listening to everybody now.
Yeah. So I think the discussions we've had, I think very valuable inputs have come in. And now I think what Subhajit mentioned, that it's time to introspect now. This opportunity may never come back again. So I think that's a very, very valid point. And in our lifetime, I hope that this doesn't return, this opportunity. We don't want it to come back ever again. But of course, while it is there, let's make the best use of it. And we got very good pointers and how to improve our emotional well-being, how to improve our physical well-being. I think those are the things we should invest in right now, and make sure that once we come out of this lockdown, we come out as better human beings. We come out as better as a race. I'm sure Indians are turning out to be more safety conscious now. They're turning out to be more hygienic. These are the changes which we'll see in our day-to-day lifestyle. So people will adapt to these things. We already adapted. And so I think these are opportunities we should look for in these times. Not easy times at all, but of course we have to find the positiveness wherever we can in this and stay positive. I think the biggest thing which we need to understand is the willingness to change, because that is the only thing which will help us survive. If we are willing to change, which will happen, change is all around us right now, and in an enormous fashion we are going to change. So I think mindset to change, I think that is what the mantra is: be positive and be ready to change.
True. I could not agree more with you, Mr. Kapoor. In fact, this takes me to one of the projects. See, we at World Order Forum have been doing several projects. We also do a lot of consulting work. So this takes me 7 years back. We had done a project for one of the OEMs or automakers in the country, and over there we had developed a team of top sales guys, really very well trained, the best finesse, the best soft skills, the best grooming. And what we did with them, like Subhajit, would agree, every car company, every vehicle company has a helpline for customers. What we did back in 2013, we created a helpline for those sales guys, that if you have any issue, your incentive is not paid, or you don't have any competition comparison, you don't need any product information, or you just need to talk to us, you need some guidance, counseling, just call in. We'll come. So we used to get so many calls. So similarly, if here also, if we can develop a helpline, for this entire session, we should be thankful to Subhajit that he gave this brilliant idea last Sunday, and Monday we were ready with it. But there was just tech issues, we're not able to hear him clearly and completely. But if we can develop these helplines for companies, for the entire industry at large, if we can pool in our resources, as we say, we have to be together. That, hey, if you are facing any issue, you just call in and we will try to help. Like, what Subhajit and I were discussing last Sunday, as part of a salary, okay, there has been salary cuts. Let's face it. At dealerships, people are getting 10-day salary, 15-day salary, 20-day salary. Let's face it, it's a reality. We can't say that puri salary sabko mil rahi hai. No, we cannot live, in a theoretical world, in a utopia. So possibly with that deducted or cut salary, if we can, complement with some good groceries, good quality grocery, which we have procured at a very good rate because of the quantities, and we give that to our employees, especially those people who are right at the bottom level, so their families also feel that, hey, something is there, at least koi bhuka nahi mar raha. Some shampoo kits, toiletries, groceries they are getting, dry rations. So Subhajit, you want to say something, or how do we get you in the conversation? That's my only worry. Subhajit, we can't hear you. The WhatsApp call again. So last few thoughts from Subhajit, then we'll wrap up the discussion. It's already 6:15, and I'm very happy that all of us have come out so, openly on this topic, and we've actually followed our experts' advice here, Ms. Jain and Dr. Priyanka, and we have followed Shah Rukh Khan's advice that we need to come openly out, and discuss these issues. So, okay, Subhajit's calling me.
There would be a slight suggestion from me, like you were talking of the helpline,
Sure.
Anuj. If you guys do, go ahead with this helpline, there was a slight suggestion that I'd like to make.
Sure.
Across, not just for your employees, across stratas, as much as we can look inward and go back to our roots, it will help us sustain better. So, if we start, doing things like, kind of replacing our avocados with our local, these things. So if you start looking inwards and start going back to the local roots, a lot of positive psychology actually has roots in Oriental and Indian psychology.
Wow.
So if you start looking inwards, a lot of it would be much more, you would be able to, fathom much more, and we'd be able to be more resilient. So that could be a point maybe you'd like to think of when you're doing this,
That's a great suggestion.
Great point.
Surprisingly, everything has a source in Oriental and Indian, and we very conveniently just forget it and go and ape the West. Lockdown goal though.
The positive is completely Oriental and Indian psychology. So if we start looking back on the roots, we'd be able to do much more resilience for across employees, across industries.
So getting Subhajit back in the conversation, last few seconds, and then we will try to wrap it up. So Subhajit, please feel free to speak.
Anuj, after we had a discussion, regarding this salary cut and everything. So, and the grocery part was so thoughtful. So now I'm also thinking that can we talk to the dealer and we'll tell them, well, okay, fine, you may have a zero cash flow or some big basic issues on the business coming to grinding halt. But you will always have an opportunity of knowing somebody in anybody in a kirane ki dukaan you are who's who in the society. So at least by your salary cut, if you're having kids and a senior citizen, can you convert that into some kind of a bare necessity of groceries that you can give them? So while the salary cut can be one very harsh way, but when you say in the grocery part, that satisfaction level, that retention level will still be there, and human side still will be there, especially at the level of the technicians, where they get a salary in a month, and by the end of the month, they are almost exhausted and wait for another first week to come when they will get the salary. So it will be a great move, and if all of us, please count me in, if all of us can put it together, and if the lockdown again further, whatever happened further, kind of a all kind of motivate our dealers to get into these aspects, because after all, lockdown will end somewhere or the other, and then the business has to come back. चाहे जो भी हो, business में वापस आएगा 15 दिन के बाद, 1 महीने के बाद, और किसी सर्विस एडवाइजर से आपको काम लेना पड़ेगा.
Absolutely.
Healthy, they need to remain hygienic. So I believe there is a good thought, and let us take it forward.
Done, Subhajit.
Cost effective.
Done.
Huge human support, huge empathy side to it.
So Subhajit, you have announced this on WAF TV, which is not national television. It is international television. Okay, so this is seen by people in 125 countries. So now we as a company, as an industry, we have to walk the talk, and if any help you need from World Order Forum, we are there. We are just a call away. We had done something similar 7 years back. We can do it again. It will be a pleasure and an honor. Right. So with those words, I will just take in our team members. We can thank them one-to-one for helping us coordinate, organize, and arrange this beautiful call. So back to the gallery view. Okay, so Mr. Jerry, are you there? Yes, he is in the process of joining, and he has joined. So while his picture and his audio connect, so I wonder where is Mohini? I can't see Mohini over here. Hello, Jerry, sir. Welcome.
Sir, how are you, sir? How are you, sir?
Good, sir. Good. In fact, this has been our most overshot and extended discussion till date.
It's amazing, sir. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So Mohini couldn't join. Mohini is not here. Where is Mohini?
I think she's trying to log in.
So do we wait, or because I didn't see her even once? Anyway, so friends. So I hope this discussion we are able to use Harness, because as I say, everything lies in application. And Singh Saab, anything which is left unsaid, if you want, last 10-15 seconds, you can share your thoughts before we wrap up this conversation.
I would say the key takeaway for me is said by Dr. Priyanka that life was always uncertain. So I think a very important and very heavy words, I would say. Certainly will definitely make use of these heavy words, and I would like to thank everyone on the panel for their wonderful thoughts. I think very helpful, very useful, and I think a lot of things to be picked up
Yes.
to implement.
Personally, I would say I'm very thankful to you. I think there was not any other discussion which I can, take back a lot on a personal level. A lot of do's and don'ts to go on my checklist surely after this discussion. So thank you so very much, Ms. Jain. Thank you so very much, Dr. Priyanka, Mr. Kapoor, Singh Saab, Subhajit. Thank you so much, Jerry sir. Thank you so much,
Thank you, sir. Thank you, all of them. Thank you. Thank you a
Thank
lot.
you so much.
Thank you, everyone, for
so
such
much.
an entertaining discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. All the very best.
Thank you. Thank you.